All right, this is for the viewers. Um, Everyone probably has their own opinion of what was the straw that broke the camel's back in order to dissolve the Beatles, in order for them to split up and go their separate ways. Now, I'd like people to put in the comments, their number one theory, or what was the first sign uh, of darkness on the horizon. I have my own theories, which I'm going to say, but if you're listening, pause the thing now and put in your theory, and then come back and hear what I say, and we'll see if we agree. Now, Athena, you may not be familiar with all of these, but I think the first sign of forebodings in the future was Paul McCartney when he was in the Beatles performing Yesterday on stage as a solo artist. The rest of the Beatles had to leave the stage, and they put a spotlight on Paul, and he was all by himself. So that's kind of a thing there. And then the second thing was they stopped dressing alike. In the early days, they dressed exactly the same. They wore the same suits and everything. And then, around 1965, 6, certainly by 67, definitely, they didn't. They just wore whatever the fuck they wanted to. You're allowed to say fuck on YouTube as long as you don't say it in the first 12 seconds. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Because I think YouTube figures, well, after 12 seconds, nobody's listening anyway,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
John and Paul stopped writing songs together as much. In the early days, they wrote a lot together. And then as time went by and they got a little older, they wrote separately. But they still credited Lennon and McCartney. They kept suppressing George Harrison's songs and would only give him one or two, maybe two an album. Their manager's death, Brian Jones, Brian Epstein's death was a big one. Then the one that everyone thinks is Yoko Ono. When she came in, she, it was sort of a wedge. It created a rift of some sort. And then the last one, which people are going to say in the comments, was Alan Klein. They got a new manager a few years after Brian Epstein, their manager, died. And, he was just a bad guy.